I'm about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments. There will be anything. It'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
So weird. It really is like the whole country's hypnotized. And I just think this is a perfect storm of things that are happening.
It's going to be a big drama from Dalton, Illinois. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is in the center of a political cyclone that is becoming more and more frantic by the moment. There are many surprising twists and turns in this novel, as well as moments that will leave you speechless. Don't believe that a reality TV show couldn't compete with local politics? To make things worse, Joe Rogan has now raised his voice, drawing national attention to this local conflict. Let's look at the real situation.
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees.
For those who may not be aware, Tiffany Henyard was a trailblazer who in 2021 was elected as Dalton's first female mayor. But instead of leading the community, she is now at the center of a growing conflict that challenges her leadership skills. Henyard is facing significant charges, including intimidating tactics, threats against citizens, and even paying one of the nation's most infamous lawyers to defend her. Nor is this merely the usual political mudslinging. It sounds almost like the plot of a Hollywood thriller, but this is real life. Things took a sharp turn when it became apparent that Henyard was not exactly winning over the people of Dalton. Disagreement with criticism is one thing, but what about a mayor who is charged with threatening her own people? That's a whole different story. You read correctly. Henyard made a clear threat to act against anyone who disagreed with her, according to many accounts. Think about that for a second. As a public servant, this individual is supposed to speak for and hear the community. But instead of promoting open dialogue, she is allegedly employing intimidation to silence dissent. What an abuse of power.
Meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few.
Other residents, however, claim that these purported threats went beyond just words because they have been receiving unanticipated attention from local authorities. Not the kind of attention anyone would want. Consider this, you become the focus of severe attention after speaking out against the way things are being handled in your neighborhood. Could this be a coincidence? Maybe, but it's definitely raising some serious issues. As no public worker should ever try to do, it is understandable that people are seeking clarity and questioning if their mayor has gone too far.
I've got some books that says Mayor. Inside I get from the United States District Court.
With all this tension mounting, who else but Joe Rogan would step in and bring the drama to light? Rogan's show has millions of viewers, and they pay attention to what he has to say. This time, he didn't hold back. He assaulted Henyard, accusing her of blatantly misusing her power and even mentioning that she had endangered her own people. Even though a small town mayor rarely receives national media attention, people listen to what Rogan has to say. His critique extended well beyond Henyard's political career and focused on the misuse of power, especially by elected officials who should be held to the highest standards of accountability. His crowd responded strongly to his message. Even though Henyard might have thought this was only a local conflict that would quickly be resolved, she had to face the unsettling reality that her actions were being observed nationwide. As Rogan's vast platform exacerbated the concerns of Dalton locals, what started out as a small-town issue quickly grew into a major controversy. But since this goes beyond what Joe Rogan said, let's take a closer look at these assertions. Many residents of Dalton are so frightened that they have begun to come out. According to several, Henyard's alleged threats were more than simply empty words, and they have already experienced consequences for speaking up.
Be what's running the thing. We're letting the thing be run by the people that are in.
This brings us to Henyard's decision to hire Billy to represent her. If you haven't heard of Billy before, let me briefly introduce him. He isn't your normal lawyer. Some of the most well-known and controversial court cases in recent memory have involved him as a party. Do you remember R. Kelly's story? There was Billy, the disgraced artist's former manager. And that's just the start of his involvement in well-known legal battles. He has been accused of persuading witnesses, breaching the law, and defending some of the most notorious individuals in the country. Thus, you can understand the public's reaction when Henyard decided to hire him.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 19.
Let's take a moment to step back, as this next step just serves to stoke the fires. The fact that Henyard decided to hire Billy as her attorney startled a lot of people. Let me introduce Billy to you if you don't already know. Billy is not your typical lawyer. He has been involved in some of the most controversial and downright scandalous court cases in recent years. Do you remember R. Kelly's story? Billy was there, defending the disgraced musician's former manager. His involvement in questionable actions doesn't stop there. He has been accused of breaching the law, coaching witnesses, and defending some of the most notorious individuals in the country. When Henyard decided to hire him, you can be sure that the neighborhood was rocked. The public's response can also be predicted. Why in the world would Henyard hire someone like Billy? Others are shaking their heads in agreement. It's not that there aren't enough lawyers on the market. She did, however, pick someone whose reputation raises more questions than it does answers. This conduct has only added to the mounting suspicion that Henyard may be hiding more than she is willing to admit. After all, when you're already facing accusations of abusing your power, is it really the greatest idea to work with a lawyer who has a track record of breaching the law? The logic just isn't there. The response from the people of Dalton has been nothing short of outrage. As they try to comprehend what is going on in their neighborhood, they are left feeling confused. Some are now even questioning Henyard's judgment due to allegations that she used taxpayer money to buy a brand new $250,000 luxury car and go to Vegas for some partying. And that's not all. Anyone who attempts to argue with her will reportedly face business closure and eviction. These are serious accusations that paint a picture of a leader who has completely lost control, not just small grievances. With every new piece of information that surfaces, Henyard seems to be getting herself into greater danger. The most absurd thing is that Henyard's previous legal team did not just resign, they quit. Indeed, they resigned, purportedly because they couldn't handle the financial strain. What if your own lawyer said, "Yeah, we're leaving because you were so involved in the scandal"? That's exactly what happened. With Billy taking charge, the stakes are higher than they have ever been. People are closely monitoring this situation and anxiously anticipating how it will turn out. Let's be honest though, Henyard isn't doing well right now. Let's take a moment to revisit Billy because his role is crucial to the plot as a whole. More times than anyone can recall, his tactics have been called into question, and he has been involved in a number of quite unpleasant court proceedings. In addition to allegedly coaching witnesses and influencing the court system, he has also been accused of embezzling money from clients without fulfilling the promised services. If that sounds like you, this is the kind of lawyer who thrives on controversy. Now that he's defending Henyard, it raises the question of what she might do next. What's even more interesting is the timing of it all. After it was discovered that Henyard had been using public monies for private expenses such as lavish parties, expensive purchases, and vacations, she is already under investigation for financial mismanagement. It doesn't appear very good. As more information becomes accessible, the situation will only worsen. Disaster is inevitable when Billy gets involved. This evening's Dalton Village board meeting was held at the Park District building, and Henyard was late because Village Hall could not legally hold the throng. Why would she bring in someone like Billy when she should be focusing on getting her name cleared? Is she depending on his aggressive tactics to help her through this trying moment, or is there a more serious problem at work that we haven't yet identified? To be honest, it's hard to anticipate the conclusion, and there is a lot of conjecture, but there's no doubt that Henyard isn't going down without a fight. Keep in mind that Henyard was being closely watched even before this latest controversy. Her time in office has been chaotic, filled with allegations of unethical spending, tense board meetings that turned into fights, and now this. Every few months, it seems like something goes wrong in Dalton, and Henyard is generally at the center of the most recent headline. When she first assumed office, she had a lot of potential, but she has swiftly turned everything upside down. Things are about to become worse now that the FBI is apparently getting involved. The stakes are high as a federal investigation into Henyard's finances, her political committee, and even her close friends is being considered. Henyard seems to be going above and beyond, but this should serve as a warning to anyone in her position. She still insists that a smear campaign against her is being carried out by her political competitors. She is only accepting the chaos and doesn't appear to be planning to change course. It's a bold move, but whether it's the right one is still up for debate. Her decision to include Billy, however, has undoubtedly fanned the flames even more. People are more distrustful than ever, and the questions simply keep popping up. Why would she choose someone who had such a controversial past? What does she think Billy can accomplish for her that no one else can? Maybe more than anything else, what does she have to hide? In court today, Henyard was accused of appointing people illegally to several positions in the hamlet. As this debate develops, the residents of Dolton are left wondering what will happen next. Critics of Henyard are calling for her to quit, saying that the community no longer believes in her and that something needs to happen. Some claim that if she doesn't step down, she might even be subject to serious legal consequences. It's a stressful scenario that doesn't seem to be improving anytime soon. What do you think? Is Henyard in a losing struggle, or does she have a chance to win? Should she and other public servants be held to a higher standard, or is this just the way politics operate? Please provide your thoughts in the space provided for comments. Until the next time,